All right, and Robert, I'll get to your question after the broadcast. Um, so I'll get to that after the broadcast today. So, all right, so I'm on Facebook, guys. So if you're having difficulty, then go to TSPCI on YouTube. These platforms, by the way, have been having issues of late. But as you see on my screen, that I am live on Facebook. We can look at the YouTube also to see, and that's something I don't know if they've said if we were live or not on YouTube. Let's see, and let's see if we're live actually right now. This is a global. This is not the one. Let me go to the one it's supposed to be. YouTube.com. TSPCI live, right? And that's the title and what it is, and it isn't showing me live. That is true. This is on YouTube, right? YouTube is not showing live right now. Let me just check why that is. All right, so it says here I'm offline. It says I'm live here though. Okay, because it just got back on. So it looks like there's difficulties on the network. Let me check another setting here. All right, everything shows green on my screen. We're now on here. Let's try YouTube again. Yeah, it's a problem with YouTube. So YouTube seems like it's causing an. Oh, I know what that is. Then I don't have the time to reset that. So YouTube, we're not live on YouTube apparently. Or we were, and then they flipped the switch on us. Okay, so again, that's a problem on YouTube. They changed the code to get in, and in this case, as you saw, we had the beginning of the show today, so that was there. So it looks like they did it. That's the proof that they did it midstream. Eso te demuestra que hicieron el cambio de YouTube, hicieron un cambio y me cortaron en medio producción. Y ahora y seguro que el código está diferente. So, eso lo hicieron sin avisar a nadie, no me avisaron. Y entonces ellos son supuestos ser profesional. So they're supposed to be a professional platform, and we're supposed to be producing professional stuff, but yet in midstream, or even not, they don't advise us that they're changing the code or anything to access the platform. We haven't been advised. I got no email to that effect. So this is the professionalism that they exhibit. All right, guys. So listen, we're on Facebook, in case, and Roku and Fire TV. 220 million homes. You got to find a home with one in it. That's what I got to tell you. Todo lo que puedo decir. All right. So, and getting back to where we were. So it seems that God has placed in His judgments a input by man. I see. That's what we were doing before we got interrupted. And that was that we were looking for the judge, the fact that we will be judging. That's what I was looking for. It says here, 1 Corinthians 4 to 5. Let's look at that. Vamos a mirar aquí, primero de Corintios 4, 5. It says, therefore judge nothing before the time. So right off the bat, you see that we shouldn't judge something before the time, meaning that there will be a time for judgment. Aquí dice que no juzga nada antes de tiempo. Eso quiere decir que tenemos un tiempo donde podemos juzgar hasta que el Señor venga, until the Lord come, who both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness. And what are the hidden things of darkness? ¿Qué son las cosas escondidas en las tinieblas? Dice hasta que traerá luz a las cosas escondidas en tinieblas. ¿A qué está hablando? Está hablando de las cosas que no conocemos. It's talking about things that man does not know about. Okay? It's in darkness because we don't know about it. Not because they are bad or evil. No, the darkness is lack of knowledge. Las tinieblas son falta de entendimiento. So there's a lot of things that man does not know of, does not understand. And that's why he tells us the advice is not to judge anything before the time when the Lord will come, will bring the light to the hidden things of darkness. Así que traerá la luz a las cosas escondidas en tinieblas, and will make manifest the counsels of the heart, wisdom. And then shall every man have praise of God. So then that's when everything is made clear. So that's toda cosa vendrá la luz y todo entonces todos conoceremos la verdad de todas las cosas. Así que that's that advisement. So there is a time to judge, it's just not before that time. Hay un tiempo para juzgar, lo único que no es el tiempo ahora antes. Right. 1 Corinthians 6:2. Here we go. Primero de Corintios 6:2. And it says here, do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? ¿No conoces que los santos juzgarán al mundo? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Así que si el mundo será juzgado por nosotros, no somos dignos de también juzgar las cosas pequeñitas. Dice 1 Corintios 6:3. También sepas que juzgaremos los ángeles. ¿No sabes que también juzgaremos los ángeles? Know ye not that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? All right, so basically, this goes to the point that God allows a space when you see it in the Old Testament, where God allows a man to impose a punishment, and then the judges to impose their punishment. This is part of this precept that we have something to do with what God is doing here and how God is judging things here on the earth. You can look at it and say, oh, these are things, affairs of man. But remember that who does man belong to? Nosotros podemos decir que, mira, estos son asuntos de los hombres. Los hombres, Dios sabe, y Dios da a los hombres que arreglan los asuntos de ellos. Lo podemos mirar así sencillamente, pero no es tan sencillo así, sino que entendemos a quién pertenecemos. Remember when we were teaching about why God pays or punishes kidnapper with death? ¿Por qué es que Dios castiga el secuestrador con muerte? Remember that? Because he is causing a death without causing a physical death. It is a death in the sense that he is taking control over another person out of God's will. In other words, God is the one that is the one who determines where we are and what we're, how we are and where we're going to be. And then somebody else comes and takes us. And that's taking us away from God's, sovereignty. Therefore, we can't be alive. In other words, it's a way of killing us without physically killing, but our connection is with God and in His will. Once we are leaving God's sovereignty, then we are dead because His sovereignty is the only thing that's keeping us alive. So even though He's taking, God still has sovereignty, but symbolically, you are usurping His sovereignty over this man or woman or child. Así que cuando un secuestrador coge a alguien, lo toma, pues está sacándolo de la soberanía de Dios. Recuerde esa enseñanza. Y entonces eso simboliza que tú lo estás sacándolo de la soberanía de Dios y es lo único que lo tiene vivo. So, simbólicamente usted está causando la muerte de esa persona. Porque todos nosotros estamos bajo la soberanía de Dios y la misericordia de Dios. Recuerde que todos estamos supuestos a estar, ¿qué? Muertos. Así que el secuestrador va y saca del control de Dios, de la soberanía de Dios, del permiso de Dios, esta vida. Y entonces por eso Dios castiga, manda que ese secuestrador se mata. Usted mató y usted tiene que morir. Ojo, vida por vida. Aunque esa vida era simbólicamente hecho morir, pero es la enseñanza. Por eso digo que todo esto es enseñanza. La ley es enseñanza. Enseñanza, hay que entender lo que Dios está enseñando. So even though the kidnapper didn't kill this person, it still symbolized death because you took the person away from under God's control, under God's grace, under God's mercy, and determination, under God's sovereignty. And so therefore, if they're not under God's sovereignty, then they're dead. They don't exist. Especially after the Garden of Eden. You got to connect the dots. And so remember that the law is about teaching. That's why it's like that. It doesn't make any sense any other way. It is simply that God is teaching us about His sovereignty and the fact that we are alive only due to His sovereignty. He created us, and even after we disobeyed Adam in the Garden of Eden, that day you shall surely die, we're still hanging on by a thread. God's sovereignty. But somebody goes and takes us away. You are taking him away from me, from God. You are causing a death. That is a death. Because there's no hope. If you take somebody away from me, without me, there's no hope of life. So you are causing a death, and therefore life for life. You will give up your life. Así que estamos por un hilo conectado con vida. Después del jardín de Edén, cuando Dios dijo, mira, el día que comiere de este árbol, de cierto moriré. Y entonces pues vemos que Dios en su soberanía, en su misericordia nos permite un hilito Misericordia, gracia, que vivamos, aunque sea en esta forma, de esta manera, lo que nosotros llamamos vida. Y para alguien entonces tomarnos de eso, quitarnos así, secuestrarnos, eso es decir que no hay Dios, ese no tiene Dios, no tiene nadie que lo cuide. Yo voy a tomar control de esa persona. Usted está causando la muerte, que tú no puedes darle vida, solo Dios le da vida. Usted está quitándolo del que le dio vida y que le está siendo soberanía sobre la vida de esa persona. Y entonces tú causas muerte. Eso simboliza muerte. Remember, you don't have to do a sin to sin. Remember that, because that's not New Testament. Eso no es neotestamentaria, que no tienes que hacer el pecado para pecar. A lot of people think that this is a new thing that Jesus taught in the New Testament. It's not new. It's here. It's here. This guy didn't kill. The kidnapper is not killing the person that they're kidnapping. Yet he forfeits a life. Why? Because he is symbolically killing him. He didn't have to commit the sin of killing this person to suffer the consequences of doing that. Because what he's not understanding is that symbolically you are. Sí, simbólicamente está matando a esta persona. Y por eso viola comete el pecado, aunque no lo hizo. Lo hizo simbólicamente. Por eso cuando Cristo viene y dice, tú no tienes que cometer adulterio físicamente, sino en la mente, porque ya simbólicamente hizo el adulterio. So ya pecaste. No tienes que hacer la cosa, solo pensar hacer. So this is the same thing that Jesus later on in the New Testament teaches, that you don't have to commit adultery to commit adultery. You just have to think it. You see, you just have to think it, because it's not the thing, it's a symbol. It's the thought of doing it. People have to understand that is what sin is. Sin is not an act. It is a thought. It is symbolic. Everything in this world is symbolic. Todo en esta vida es simbólico. The law was made so that you could start learning about sin. It's not what sin is. La ley fue dado para que aprendan del pecado, no que eso es pecado. If people just don't understand, they're not understanding. So that's just the beginning of the law is just the beginning of understanding sin. But sin is not the breaking of the law. The Bible says that, yeah, you obviously broke the law, but it doesn't start. Your breaking of the law began when you thought about doing it. That's what they're not getting. Absolutely, after you did it, you obviously, hey, you sinned, but that's what you were supposed to learn. Oh, that's a sin. But now learn that sin began when you thought about doing it. Ahora tienen que aprender que ese pecado, porque la ley enseña el pecado, porque sin ley, ¿cómo iba a entender lo que era el pecado? Pero no quedan solamente con romper la ley es pecado. Solo pensar. Eso es lo que tienen que seguir aprendiendo, que solamente pensar. Esto está aquí. Esto es parte de la ley, lo que se enseña como la ley. This is here as part of the law. So again, if you're reading the scripture and you're looking at the judgments of God, you see that this kidnapper is paying for something he didn't do. Si uno lee aquí, uno ve, esto es parte de la ley, los decretos de Dios son parte de la ley, y esta persona está pagando por algo que él no hizo. Está pagando por algo que él no hizo. Right? Pero lo hizo simbólicamente. Porque en hacerlo, en secuestrar, está sacando de la soberanía de Dios, debajo de la soberanía de Dios. So again, pecó, sí. Él no era el pecado en la del secuestro. So the issue was that his sin wasn't that of kidnapping. What was done actually was not the sin. It manifested the sin, but the sin was something else, more grave, but it wasn't even in his understanding. So what we see basically is that even though the law was given so that people can understand sin, it doesn't mean that the sin is totally encapsulated in the law. It just means that you after you did this, now realize that this was sin. This was sinful. This was because of sin. But where did it begin? What part of it? Because obviously, if you did this, you already sinned. But when did the sin actually begin? Was it, and we begin to see here that it is not in the act. The sin isn't in the act. It's in the premeditation. It's in actually the decision. Vemos que el pecado, cuando empezamos a aprender del pecado a través de la ley, entonces entendemos, porque la ley lo está enseñando aquí, que el pecado empezó no después, el pecado se manifestó, pero el pecado existía antes de la manifestación. Y vemos que el pecado existe en sí, aunque no haya manifestación. So we see that the sin is committed and exists even without its manifestation. It doesn't have to manifest. No tiene que ser manifestado para que sea pecado. So when people are teaching about the law, it's another issue that they do. They associate the law with if you don't do the law, you have broken the law, which is clearly, if you don't have the result, if your result is against what the law says, then clearly there has to have been a breaking of the law. But you don't have to have a breaking of the law in order for sin to have taken place, to have been committed. No se necesita la manifestación de la rotura de la ley para que se realice o se haga la realidad que el pecado fue cometido. That's all. It's just that the law was put there so that you can take notice. Oh, wait a minute. I sinned because look at what I've done. But then everyone didn't understand that you don't have to do it to commit it. This is what Jesus made clear later on. But it's also here. It's in the law itself, in the fact that the whatever this person did, the kidnapper, was not what he had to pay for. He had to pay for something he didn't do. So then, now we see another discrepancy. So entonces estamos viendo otra discrepancia de que este secuestrador paga por una muerte que él no hizo. Porque él dice vida por vida, la vida de esa persona todavía está. Right? Pero vemos entonces la complicación y la dificultad de la ley. So here we see the complication and the difficulty with the law. That's why people trip up on the law all the time, because they're not understanding that there's more behind the law than just what the law is. They had to learn more. Here is where God is showing them, listen, there's more to this than what you're reading. Because I know how it reads. It reads like, oh, if we don't do this law, then we've broken the law. That's fine. That's like baby stuff. Okay, that's clear. I mean, how else are you going to learn this? Si tú no haces lo que dice la ley, la gente piensa, aquí te di la ley, si tú no haces conforme a la ley, pues es pecado. Y entonces, pero es otra cosa que Dios está revelando aquí, que aunque no hagas esto, todavía cometiste pecado. Y otra cosa, como si fuera otra ley que cometiste cuando hiciste esta otra cosa. So it gets complicated because here he's not killing this person he kidnapped, yet he is punished as if he did. Of course, when we study it, we know that he is symbolically killing this person, but this is not teaching that's being given except for the fact that it's in the judgment. Aquí estamos viendo una enseñanza que se está dando Dios a través de su decreto que en otra forma no se le está diciendo. En lo demás dice que esta es la ley, si viola esta ley, pues este es el castigo. Pero aquí vemos que esta es, aquí dice, este es un decreto. Y ahora si tú haces una cosa, tú pagas por otra. Y no da la explicación como yo lo expliqué. See, I gave the explanation. The Bible didn't give this. And when I say the Bible, right here, and when God is saying this judgment, He didn't give the explanation for it, right? He didn't give the explanation I gave for this thing. This is what we're supposed to analyze. Esto es lo que nosotros estamos supuestos a analizar y ver. See? So that now we can start saying, wait a minute. So then he did one thing, he kidnapped, yet he's paying for a death. You see, and we're supposed to realize, oh, wait a minute, then kidnap, taking someone out, away from where they're at, from their own, taking their control away, and obviously God's control over that situation is a killing. And then they have to, why is that? They have to go to Genesis 2. Genesis and the Garden of Eden to realize why that is. Esta palabra que tienen que investigar, entonces cuando ven este asunto, es realizar, analizar, llevando una persona fuera de su control, de su voluntad, y también fuera de la voluntad de Dios, la soberanía de Dios, de tomarlo así, es una muerte. Dios lo considera una muerte. Y entonces, ¿y cómo va a ser? ¿De dónde viene eso? Entonces hay que ir al jardín de Edén. Dijo Dios, si toman este fruto, moriréis. O sea que si estamos vivos hoy día, lo básico es entender que es por la misericordia de Dios. Estamos bajo la cobertura de Dios. Entonces, para alguien venir y tomarnos, pues entonces, ¿qué queda? You know, what's left if someone takes us out of that space where God has allowed us to be alive, and someone takes us out of that space? You see that? Someone else is saying, who are you? This person's alive only by my mercy, and you're taking them. You're causing a death. That's the reason in here. And that's why he had that. So sin can get very complicated here. El pecado es complicado because it goes to who God is. You see? Porque el pecado llega o el pecado es referente. Estoy buscando la palabra correcta en español. Es referente al carácter de Dios. Y por eso el entender el pecado es difícil. Es complicado. Dios trata de enseñarnos a través de la ley lo que es el pecado, pero vemos la complicación aquí. That's why God gave us these judgments, and now we can begin to see it's not just that what sin is, it's also realizing how intricate it can get. And and so that's the very, very, I mean, you're dealing with God here. The sin has reference to God that you don't know. El pecado es referente a un Dios que tú no conoces, que no comprende en su totalidad, that you don't understand in his entirety, that you don't have a comprehensive knowledge of God in order to then know what is a sin and what is a sin, or when is a sin. When is a sin? A sin. So then, And that's why we begin to say, if we take the judgments of God correctly to analyze, then we begin to see that there is more to the law than just the law and breaking the law breaking the law. That is a first grader way of handling it. No criticism here. It's critiquing. We can see here more complication than just this is the law and you broke it. Okay, it's more complicated than that. And then you begin to appreciate the need for a mediator. Entonces empieza más y más a apreciar la necesidad de un mediador. It becomes essential, right? Viene siendo esencial. No, when Adam sinned, he did something there that was the angels that sinned could not recover from it. Let's put it this way. Los ángeles que pecaron no pudieron recuperar, digo, de esa situación. Ni Dios pudo, imagínense, ni Dios pudo salvar los ángeles. Even God could not save the angels. That's how devastating sin is. Ese es lo devastador que es el pecado. Ni el mismo Dios pudo salvar los ángeles caídos. Even God himself could not save the fallen angels. So you don't take sin lightly. El pecado no se debe tomar así por dado. Don't play with that. No juega con eso. La gente tiene... No, Cristo me salvó. Cristo ya... listen, Dios lo hizo bien fácil. Pero ten cuidado. Por eso Pablo dijo, cuida de tu salvación con temor y temblor. That's why Paul said, fear, maintain your salvation with fear and trembling. Okay? Don't just take, Christ saved me, he forgave me my sins, and so now everything's good. Yeah, God made everything good, but take care. Take care. Because this sin thing, this is a sting. Esto de pecado, eso es un aguijón. And no es fácil. It's not an easy thing. What God did is not an easy thing. That's why it's the grace of God. Por eso se le dice la gracia de Dios. Because there's no other way that we could have been saved. Porque no hay otro modo que podíamos ser salvos. It's a precious thing. But again, you see it, you appreciate it when you start looking into the detail in the law, but particularly more than just the laws, this part of the law, which are the judgments. That's why it's so important, these studies. So es muy importante ese estudio. And then on top of that, given that reality, then reason now that we're giving a chance to adjudicate, which is beautiful. even with the fact that the sin is so devastating, we still have space. God has given, this is the grace of God, that he's giving us the space to judge. Que nos dio, eso es la gracia de Dios, que nos dio el espacio de juzgar. You see that? Now, where was that space given to us? ¿Dónde fue ese espacio dado a nosotros, esa capacidad? Where was that capacity given to us? Let us make man in our likeness and image. ¿Sí? Image and likeness. Vamos a hacer el hombre a nuestra imagen y semejanza. Ahí fue donde Dios hizo ese espacio. Nos dio la capacidad de juzgar en justicia, no en la decepción de la mentira, en la oscuridad, con luz. So he gave us the power of judging, not in darkness. Okay, but within his light, within his wisdom, and within his righteousness, then yes, we are judges of the world. Nosotros somos jueces del mundo, jueces de los ángeles. We're judges even to the angels. Because figure this. See, if the angels sin, they can't be saved. Si los ángeles pecan, ellos no pueden ser salvos. See, yet we have sinned and we have been saved. So who can, in other words, who is higher than the angels? Because none of the angels that are in heaven have sinned. And if they sin, they're the fallen angels, and that's that. But we have sinned and we have been made whole by the grace of God. Santo es el Señor. So, los ángeles que están en el cielo no han pecado. Los ángeles que cayeron pecaron. Así que si un ángel del cielo peca, viene a ser un ángel caído. No hay remedio. Pero nosotros hemos pecado y hemos sido rescatados por el Dios creador nuestro. Santo es el Señor. Entonces somos más que los ángeles. Santo es el Señor. I mean, those of us who make it to heaven, right? Aquellos que llegan al cielo son más que los ángeles. Santo es el Señor. Ve que tenemos, vamos a poder juzgar porque éramos y ya no. Santo es el Señor. Los ángeles no pueden decir eso. Solo dicen, nosotros nunca pecamos. Los otros dicen, nosotros pecamos. Pero ni un ángel puede decir que pecó y fue restaurado. Ninguno. Solo los hijos de Dios, nosotros, que podemos decir eso, los que han sido rescatados por Dios y vivimos bajo la gracia de Dios. Nosotros somos los únicos seres en todo el universo. We are the only beings in all of the universe that can claim to have been in sin before and then now made whole. Amen. Praise God. And so we are above the angels and we will be judges of all things on heaven and on earth. Yes, sirree. Absolutely. So that is a beautiful thing that God has done. That's why the angels say, oh Lord, this is beautiful. This is wonderful. Because it was possible and for the angels to fall away. It happened. But now when they saw what God was doing, they worshiped the Lord. Right? When Jesus was born, the angels gathered, they worshiped God. Oh, the boss is doing something. He's doing his thing. It amazed the angel. Esto maravilló los ángeles lo que Dios estaba haciendo. Cuando los ángeles vinieron a cantar el nacimiento de Jesús. Amén. Los ángeles estaban dando gloria a Dios, porque Dios está haciendo su cosa. Están diciendo, papá Dios está haciendo su cosa ahora. Esto es tremendo. Esto es mayor que cualquier otra cosa que hemos visto. So the angels testify to the majesty of God's majesty, his magnificence. He said, you have done it now, boss. This is it. This is it. This is top of the line God, you know. Esto es lo mejor aquí, el máximo de todo, de Dios. Esto es tremendo. Los ángeles saben. The angels saw it. They knew it. The devil knew it too. El diablo también lo vio. So this is a marvelous thing. Es maravilloso lo de Dios, Santo es el Señor. Okay. So I wanted to share those things with you also today that are evident in his word. Let's continue. We will go rapidly now through the remaining part of this chapter. So let's go there now. Vamos a ir aquí a terminar con el resto de este capítulo. All right. So it says in verse 33, and if a man shall open a pit Or if a man shall dig a pit, and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. So basically, again, still a bit of the responsibility. Whose responsibility it was that this accident, who is responsible for this loss? Otra vez la enseñanza aquí, ¿quién es responsable para esta pérdida? Si un hombre abriese una cueva y un hombre excava una cueva y no lo cubre, entonces y un buey o un asno cayesen adentro, el dueño de la cueva lo hará bien, o sea, será el culpable y dará dinero al dueño de esos animales y la bestia muerta será de él. So he's basically buying these animals. They're dead, so they're not going to be any good to him in terms of what they were good for before. If they were working animals, and of course these are animals. The ox and the ass are animals of burden, meaning that they're used for working. So, estos animales son animales de trabajo. Se usan para trabajar en la finca y llevar cosas, cargar y mover cosas. So, estos animales no van a ser de utilidad para este dueño, pero ya lo compró porque es responsable de la vida de ellos por lo que hizo. So you have to see what the teaching is who was responsible for a certain situation to occur. ¿Quién era responsable de alguna situación ocurrir? Entonces, esa es la persona que es responsable. Again, it's the same issue of responsibility, right? Es otra vez hablando del punto de la responsabilidad. And if one man's ox, en 35, a man's ox hurt another's, that he died, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it, and the dead ox also they shall divide. So, entonces, si causa la muerte del buey, entonces el buey de uno mata al otro, no sé, entonces ellos vendrán then they shall sell. So, el dueño también se empodera en parte, porque mira lo que dice, y ellos venderán, ¿sí? Si el buey de uno, if one man's ox hurt another's, right? He says, then they shall. So, if your property kills or destroys another's property, your property becomes also partly theirs. Because what is happening here is that now you are going to sell with them, meaning that you just can't sell the ox for whatever you want and just give them what it was. See, he's not allowing you to say, okay, I'm going to sell this ox for $1 and then give him the dollar because that's what I got for the ox. Usted no va a poder decir, voy a vender este buey por $1 para entonces entregar al otro dueño $1 para su animal muerto. No. Dice ambos venderán. So that means that there has to be an agreement of how much you're going to sell the live ox for so that it can be divided, divide the money of it. So the ox causing this accident, causing this death, right, becomes then responsible for replacing, in other words, for paying the money for the other ox. Now, if you, as an owner, want to have money, also you're losing. You're losing, and it wasn't that you told this ox to do that. So the thing is, then you have to sell the ox where both of you get satisfaction. And to help with that satisfaction is that the dead ox also shall be divided. So así que entonces, because usually in other scenarios, you will give up the live ox and for the dead one. So en otro escenario, usted dejaría el vivo para el muerto. Entonces entregaría el buey viejo, el buey que mató vivo, para el buey que murió. ¿Ok? Pero aquí, entonces, eso es la razón and let me just turn that off. Hello, please leave a message after the tone. An important service. Don't leave no message at all. Sorry about that. We usually have people to pick up the phone and prevent that from happening, but obviously we don't. No. Usualmente tenemos personas que detienen el teléfono de sonar, pero no lo tenemos hoy día. Alrighty. So, así que entonces, so vemos que el dueño, todo se divide y el dueño tiene que tomarse, even if the owner loses some value, but he gains value in the dead act. So they both actually suffer. Todo sufre aquí. Otra vez un accidente, un buey mató al otro. So, again, la manera es que compartan las dos en este accidente, basically. Dice, or if it be known that the ox hath used to push in the time past. I mean that if it was known that this ox were, because the other one was an accident, right? And here now we know that this ox is a problem and his owner has not kept him in. Remember that? We saw that before. Then surely will pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. So in this case, as I mentioned already, he only gets the dead ox and he has to give up his live ox, right? Because he knew it wasn't an accident. The previous judgment, they shared in the accident. En el decreto previo, ellos compartieron en el accidente, sufrieron ambos. Pero ahora, si este dueño conocía que este güey era un problema, pues entonces él tiene toda la culpa y tiene que entregar ese buey al dueño que perdió su buey, y este dueño se queda con el muerto. So there you go with that. Now we're going to Exodus 22. Éxodo 22. Exodus 22, Éxodo 22. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 ox for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. Aquí vemos entonces si un hombre roba. That's why crime doesn't pay, folks. Si un hombre roba un buey o una oveja y lo mata o lo vende, él restaurará 5 bueyes por uno. So he has to restore 5 ox to 1. He stole 1, right? So if he steals 5 ox, then he got to return 25. You know, this is a lot. Eso es mucho, right? 5 to 1. And 4 sheep for 1 sheep. See? For a sheep, as it says in the King James, right? He has to pay 4 sheep. Okay, so if he steal an ox, why is there a difference between the ox? It's the first question you gotta ask. La primera pregunta que tienen que hacer es por qué 5 por un buey y 4 por un cordero. Well, let's look at let's look at the biblical word in Spanish here. Voy a buscar en la Biblia el, um, la palabra en español aquí. Sí dice oveja. Y por aquella oveja 4 ovejas. Ok. So, dice, cuando alguno hurtare buey o oveja o lo degollara o vendiera, por aquel buey pagará 5 bueyes y por aquella oveja 4 ovejas. Lo que no dice en español que fue robado, pero seguramente no es de él. Si alguien está hurtando un buey o una oveja y lo degollara o vendiera, no es de él, porque el dueño, automáticamente el dueño puede hacer estas cosas. Esto es alguien que no es dueño. And that's interesting in the Spanish. What are you just noting here? In the Spanish, it doesn't say if this was stolen or not. But you'll tell by the next verse in Spanish. But in this verse, not like the English, in this verse, you don't have him stealing. You don't have it clearly state that he's a thief. But then you can tell by the language because it says, see, if someone hurts an ox or a sheep and it kills it or he sells it, how is that a crime for an owner? It isn't. That an owner can do this, so they can't be against the owner. It has to be against somebody who doesn't have the authority to do this. I'm going to show you also in the English as well here how you also know that this was a crime against ownership. Voy a enseñar cómo usted sabe que esto fue un crimen contra la soberanía o el dueño de estos animales por el castigo. You know it by the punishment given, right? Which is that he has to pay 5 ox. And 5, you see 5, you got, how many fingers you got here? You got 5. The 5 usually always refers to power, authority, and control. So the crime was against against the stealing, the having control of something. So in very basic language and by pictures, you see God using these symbols, basically taking over something that isn't yours. If you steal, then the stealing refers to taking control of. This issue is about taking control as much as it is about stealing, isn't it? Tiene que ver con tomar control de algo más que solamente robar. What is stealing? We have this thing about stealing. Nosotros pensamos que el asunto es robando, no, robar. Oye, qué malo es robar. We hear about stealing. Oh, that's a bad thing. It's bad to steal. Stealing is no good because we're looking at it selfishly. Actually, we don't like to get robbed. Nosotros no nos gustamos que se nos robe because we're looking at it as, hey, that was my toy, and the guy across the way, he stole my toy. That's my toy. You see? So we learn as children that we don't like stealing, or some of you learn as children that you like stealing. Algunos aprenden de niño no gustar el robar y otros aprenden gustar el robar, ¿verdad? Pero el asunto es eso. What is not being understood and what's not being taught because somebody was supposed to teach the world. Alguien estaba supuesto a enseñar el mundo esta lección, él no lo enseñó. See, somebody was supposed to teach the world as priests, for all the earth is mine. They're supposed to teach the world about the true meaning of stealing. What is stealing all about? Estaba supuesto a enseñar a alguien, qué era el robo y qué significaba el robo. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué el robo es malo? And so again, they didn't do it. So we have to do it. I guess I'll have to do it today. So we're going to teach you this about this thing, because stealing, it doesn't have to do with like stealing. It has to do with having control, having ownership. It has to do with ownership. Tiene que ver con ser dueño, because in God it's all about being the owner. Para Dios todo es siendo dueño. Él es el creador. Todo pertenece a Él. Everything, God has created all things. And look at all the things they try to steal from God. Days, right? Holidays, they try to steal away from God. Days of the week, steal away from God. Like, in terms of the pagan days, who said, and the worst violators are not the pagans. They're the legalists, those who say they follow the law. You're the ones that do the worst thing, because you are actually agreeing with the pagan. This is the day to so and so God. This day belongs to that God or that God. What are you doing? Do you have a brain? Los peores que violadores de este asunto son los que viven de acuerdo a la ley, que dicen que hay que vivir de la ley, hay que guardar el sábado, porque esos son las personas que están diciendo que tal día y tal día son días del Dios aquel y el Dios aquello y el Dios... Y yo digo, ¿qué ustedes están pensando, mijo? ¿Están locos? ¿Qué? Porque todos los días son de Jehová. Amen. All the days belong to Jehovah. Ain't no other gods. Why are you saying that day belongs to this and that? All the days belong to God, for goodness sakes. Lord have mercy. What kind of thinking is that? ¿Qué clase de pensamientos son esos? Son engañados. Don't you really realize that when you start talking about other gods, you're supposed to talk only about Jehovah. I don't know what you're talking about. This other God, this other God. Yo no sé de Dios que están hablando esta gente, de este Dios, aquello Dios, este otro Dios. Solo hay Jehová. Solo es Jehová. So, again, do you need any more proof that you're wrong in your perspective? ¿Usted necesita más pruebas que están equivocados en su perspectiva? Because I don't need any more proof than that. That's pretty clear. You start raising up other Elohim in front of Elohim, you got a problem. Cuando tú empiezas a levantar otro Elohim a frente de Elohim, tú tienes un problema serio. So anyway, the 5 ox refers to authority and power. This is what has to be taught, because when you're not teaching, you have to teach children and people, society, to appreciate authority and power. Tienen que apreciar autoridad y poder. Eso es lo que hay que enseñar a la gente. Cuando estamos hablando de autoridad y poder sobre las posesiones de uno, son posesiones, pero más que sean posesiones solo facilita el entender de autoridad y poder. Estos son asuntos de autoridad y poder. So, having a possession only brings in the teaching, the understanding of authority and power. That's all it's all about. Authority. Who has authority over this thing? Like right here, I have this microphone, right? Tengo este micrófono aquí. ¿Quién tiene autoridad de este micrófono y poder sobre este micrófono? Yo lo tengo, soy yo. That's right. Yo tengo la autoridad y el poder, no otra persona. See that? So it's a basic teaching that God is making here. And it's interesting if you see. So why? And the question is, smart fellow, or woman, lady, who thought, but then why are the sheep just four? Why the sheep just four? ¿Por qué entonces son cuatro ovejas nada más? ¿Por qué no los cinco? Well, we know what the number four means, right? Sabemos lo que quiere decir número cuatro. Lo cuatro es lo establecido, lo creado, ¿cierto? Porque nosotros sabemos que en la creación están los cuatro puntos cardinales, right? Where you go like this. I didn't make the sign of the cross, but I actually, oh, that's interesting, right? El señal de la cruz es cuatro puntos, ¿no? Que hacen así. So, we see that when we're doing the sign of the cross or the cross, it's this symbology. It's also when you see the crosshairs. That's what it is, right? And if you do math, you know what that sign is representing plus, and it also represents the coordinates, right? So everything has a coordinate in time and space. There's a coordinate in there. Hay coordinación o puntos coordinadas en saber dónde hay una cosa, dónde está una cosa. Y se enseña con el X, right? Because you have the X and Y, you have the positive and negative side to identify where exactly something is. Something exists in this space. Algo existe en este espacio. ¿Dónde está? Tiene que dar la medida con el X, el Y, y el negativo y el positivo. And then we can find where things are. We can plot positioning. Podemos encontrar las posiciones en diferentes partes en un escenario. So we need the four parts. So usted necesita los cuatro puntos para ubicarte, to have location. Okay? So that refers to created things. Number 4 is created things. 5 is authority and power. So what we see here again is what God is referring to in his perspective. Because the ox, remember what we taught before, the ox is a reference to God, right? So this is a reference of the power and authority of God. And also then the established things, which are symbolized by the sheep, which also corresponds to the sheep that are in his sheepfold, right? Corresponde las ovejas aquí a la oveja de su redil, right? La iglesia, los salvos, su pueblo. The church, the saved, his people. These are the sheep. This is an established thing. The ox refers to Elohim, which is the power and authority. So here God is making a very, very broad statement about the one who comes to hurt, who to damage, to fool with God's authority and power, and the sheep that he has created. Amen. The things that he has created, and the sheep, particularly his church, the saved, his people. Santo es el Señor. So we have a very, very profound statement being made by God. Oh, yes, it's talking about thieves in the real world, but remember, these are judgments based on precepts and statutes. This is just not a judgment of a criminal act. They unfortunately or fortunately, they're based on the structures of that were placed in the universe when God was forming it. And these things are based on God's own character. So these are truths that hold true with everything God does. He didn't have to use the ox, didn't have to use the lamb, could have used other animals, but he's sticking with it. He's sticking with the ox, and now he introduces the sheep, the lamb, because it has to do with the symbols that he's using throughout Scripture to mean and to refer to certain things. Okay? So let's look back. Now, having that proper understanding, let's go to make sure everything's good. That's good. So if a man shall steal an ox, so stealing or a sheep, and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for the ox and 4 sheep for the sheep. So whatever kills or transfers ownership of the ox, the authority, or the created sheep, the things that are created, which are sheep, symbolized by the sheep, he shall restore. That person who stole, that entity that stole, shall restore. Restaurará esa entidad 5-1. So if you're looking at it in terms of the enemy, let's look at it now in terms, let's say that man is the devil. The devil who caused the death, who stole away the attention and the authority of God in the Garden of Eden, stole away God's creation in terms of his authority. Did God say? Who challenged God's authority and power? The devil, right? Satan. And who caused the death of Adam and Eve there directly by doing that, by stealing away? The devil as well, right? Vemos que el diablo causó la autoridad de Dios de estar en cuestión cuando dijo Dios dijo esto. Esto es lo que quería decir Dios. Cuando el diablo hizo eso, él robó de Dios su autoridad y su poder. Right? En términos en la relación con la criatura de Dios. Y además de eso, también causó la muerte de la oveja, o sea, el pueblo de Dios, la gente de Dios, en hacer caer el hombre. Pero ese día moriré si tomares de ese fruto, ¿verdad? Dijo Dios, de ese árbol, de cierto moriréis. So he caused the death. He did both things. He stole God's authority and power in the Garden of Eden. And number 2, he caused the death. He killed the sheep that he had in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve. So then, what does the Bible say? That the devil had to restore. He was forced. He's under God's statutory requirement. You keep seeing a pattern here. Usted ve el patrón que hay aquí desarrollando. That the devil jumped from one boiling pot into another. El diablo brincó de una olla caliente a otra, más grande. Because here the devil not only did the devil try to usurp God in the heavens, right? Not only is his sin the pride, because they always talk about el orgullo del diablo, como el pecado del diablo es el orgullo. Pero estamos viendo más y más que muchas cosas hizo el diablo. We've seen more and more that a lot of things the devil has done. He keeps doing the wrong things. Él siempre está haciendo las cosas mal hechas. And here we see it again. And estamos viendo aquí, he does it complete. He not only does one thing wrong, he does the other thing, he does the whole set. And here God is showing us everything the devil is doing wrong. And he's doing it completely. He's not just doing one. He didn't just steal the ox. He also killed the sheep. He did both of these things in one strike. Vemos en la destrucción del diablo que no solamente robó el buey, sino que también mató a la oveja. Él es un destructor. Y se llevó La parte de los ángeles del cielo. He took a whole bunch of angels from heaven, made them lose their grace as well. This guy is a destructive force. El diablo es una fuerza destructiva. Es una mala simiente. It's a bad seed there. Because you see that he consistently does the wrong. This is what evil is. Esto es lo que es la... ¿Cómo se llama eso en español? La evil, la malicia, la maldad. Eso es maldad. Todo lo hace malo. Es maldad. ¿Sí? Eso es lo que estamos viendo aquí. So he's showing us what evil is. Evil is bad after bad after bad. Not only the one thing bad, there's a second. That is what evilness is. And it's almost like when you have to lie after you made the first lie, right? Then you have to make another lie to make the first lie look like the truth. And then you have to make up other lies to cover up for those other lies. And what you have after a whole series of lying is you have evil. That's what evil is. And a person who learns to say lie after lie and lie to cover up that lie and lie to cover up that first lie, that is an evil. That person's learning to be evil. Una persona que aprende a mentir tras la primera mentira, la segunda, la tercera, para cubrir la segunda y la tercera, la cuarta, la quinta, esa es una persona malicioso, de maldad. Esa es una persona muy malo. All right? So that's where you can now define and know what is evil. Because evil is bad, 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 bad. See? Evil is just a continuing process of doing the wrong things and lying to cover up and then stealing to do this and then doing another lie to cover that up. And that is an evil person. Es una persona maliciosa que tiene que mentir por una cosa, mentir otra vez, robar entonces de otro para cubrirse aquí, entonces hacer otra matar y matar a uno para cubrir esto y matar a dos o tres para cubrir esa mentira. Eso es maldad. Y hay personas aquí que son maliciosos. And there's evil people in the world. There's evil people in the world. And they will be willing to kill to cover up a lie. Just a simple lie. Just started as a simple lie. And down the road, they're killing people just to cover up the lies that were said before. This is evil. And this is the nature of evil. And it started with the devil. Y eso empezó con el diablo. Esa maldad, esa malicia. And they continue, and they continuing to do what the devil does, which is cover up. Cover up. Covering up is evil. Cubriendo la verdad es maldad. Es maldad. I'm going to make sure that I'm translating evil right. So let me just take a moment. Voy a tomar un momento a asegurarme que I'm translating right. Evil. Y dice mal, la maldad, la perversidad. ¿Ok? So, es la maldad y la perversidad. So, así tú conoces lo que es, porque es un proceso. Una mentira es una mentira. Se puede reconocer que uno, eso fue, déjame corregirlo. No, vamos a arreglar esto, ¿ok? Porque yo lo que dije antes era una mentira. Yo estaba con temor, yo no me sentía bien, estaba, ansioso y nervioso. Perdóname, yo voy a arreglar eso, ¿sí? So a person, people can lie, they may have a lie, but then they come and say, you know what, let me stop this right here. Let me confess that I was, at that moment, I didn't say what you would understand as the truth. I misguided, obviously, out of nervousness. I wasn't thinking clearly, and what came out was not the truth. This is the truth, X, Y, and Z. And so whatever damage that was done because I had that moment of human frailty. I ask for your forgiveness, and uh, I will pay for any damages that was, that came out of that, and forgive me for that. It was really stupid of me to do. That is, what honest people do. Honest people confess, you know. But when you have an evil person, they will not do that. They will just continue lying. Oh no, that was because of this and that. And you see, look, you'll see this. I know I do who did this and blah blah blah. And then they'll steal something. They're putting in that place just to blame someone else. Or they kill somebody down the road. It's just ridiculous. Evil people, what evil people will do just to cover up a simple lie that they could fix. It could easily fix it, folks. Puede arreglar esa mentira fácilmente. Confiese. That's all you have to do. And prevent yourself from becoming a child of Satan. Y prevenir que usted se convierta en un hijo del diablo, perverso, malicioso. Comparar la mentira. All you have to do is stop. Stop and pay restitution. Pay what you have to pay and fix it. But don't keep going down the road of evil. No sigues el camino a la perversidad, a ser perverso. Because that is something that you'll not recover from. You'll not recover from. And you will be a child of Satan. Así, si sigues en ese camino de perversidad, usted va a seguir siendo un hijo del diablo. And there's some of you out there that have something that you haven't confessed. Y hay gente aquí oyendo que tienen cositas que no han confesado. Usted se está haciendo más y más perverso. No importa si tú estás en la iglesia. Alábale, alábale. Tú estás mintiendo y sigues siendo perverso. Tú estás mintiendo. How about that song? Right? You're lying. You're a liar. And you will be the son of the devil. That's what you got to be singing. Because it doesn't matter you spending time in church, going to church, acting Christian. No importa si tú estás en la iglesia, yendo, cantando en el coro. Pero tú eres perverso. Estás cubriendo el pecado. You're covering up for the sin. It's in your heart. It's eating you alive. Está en tu corazón. Te está comiendo un cáncer. It's a cancer inside of you. Eating you up inside. How can you bend down the prayer? You're a hypocrite. Te dobla las rodillas. Tú eres un hipócrita. And simply, it's not because you lied. It's because you're not confessing. You're continuing the lie. The lie lives. It's there. The hypocrisy is living. It's alive and well. You're feeding it each time you keep ignoring the fact. La mentira está ahí vivo. Lo tiene, esa hipocresía está ahí vivo, creciendo. Tú le das leche siempre cuando estás cubriendo. You're only fooling yourself. Solo te está engañando. Confess it. Confiésalo. Do yourself a favor. And you know what? You'll be teaching others in the church a great thing. Y estará enseñando a otro en la iglesia una gran enseñanza. It'll be a great thing if you can just confess it. Brothers, I've been here amongst you all, been good to me. You all have been, you received me, you've hugged me, you've kissed me, you've befriended me, you've helped me. But I have a confession to make. And just let it out. Brothers, I've been hiding this thing since I was here or whenever it happened, whatever, just say it. Get it out and say, I am repenting. I'm confessing it as proof of my repentance. And I just lay my life out to the Lord and to the mercy of the God and to the church. And that's it. And just let it out, brother. I'm telling you now. Let it out. And the church's response has to only to be to love you, to forgive you, to love you, and to help restore you. Prayers for you. They're Christian. They cannot do anything but pray for you and help to restore. And that's it. And what you've done is teach the church, you know what? To get with it. Now it's time to prove yourselves children of God. Ahora es tiempo que en la iglesia se comprueba que son hijos de Dios. A ver que un hermano confiesa y entonces vamos a ver quiénes son los hijos de Dios. Let's see who are the children of God really here. Who are the ones that are going to embrace this brother after he confessed to whatever the sin was and to help restore him in Christ? Now we have to deal with it. Now we're either the church or we're not. So let the truth come out. Deja que la verdad salga para que se vea quién y quién no es la iglesia de Cristo. So we know who and who is not the church of Christ. Because that's really what needs to happen. You guys, we don't have to confess to man. We don't have to confess only to God. And all you have is a church full of hypocrites. Nosotros no tenemos que confesar a los hombres. No tenemos que decir nada. Y lo que pasa es que solo que tenemos es una iglesia llena de hipócritas. We have a weakened church. Tenemos una iglesia debilitada. Porque nadie dice la verdad. Porque todos están viviendo una mentira. Because everyone is living a lie. And we have a world that is looking at the church and they see what is happening in this church. There's nothing happening here. Where is the truth? We have a world that is wondering what is the truth. Why? Because the church is full of hypocrites. Un mundo está lleno de gente que están pensando qué es la verdad, quién tiene la verdad, porque la iglesia está lleno de hipócritas. Because no one wants to confess. Porque nadie quiere confesar. Yo no estoy hablando de confesar al Padre. I'm not talking about confessing to the priest. That's not what I'm talking about. The Bible doesn't say that. The Bible does say confess to one another sins. La Biblia dice confesar unos a los otros nuestras ofensas. But we don't hear confessions, nor do we in church. We don't hear confession in church. No oímos la confesión en la iglesia. And the church is full of hypocrisy. Y la iglesia está llena de hipocresía. It's a missing element that has to be revisited, folks. It's in the Bible. It doesn't say confess to the priest. It says confess to one another. So that means, we hear a lot of people get up in church. I used to laugh at this all the time. Not that I was laughing at the people. But when I started to realize as I grew up, as a younger adult, and I started to realize, these people getting up all these years, I've been hearing, that the devil's attacking me, brothers. The devil again is doing this and that, whatever. They're always blaming the devil. Listen, confess. Let's come out and confess. Vamos a salir y confesar. No está culpando el diablo por todo. El diablo esto, el diablo aquello. Yo he estado en la iglesia por muchos años y todo el mundo viene, ay hermano, que el diablo me está atacando, que el diablo me está acechando aquí. Hermano y hermana, por favor, confiese. Punto. Let the church be the church. Vamos a dejar que la iglesia sea la iglesia. Vamos a permitir que la iglesia madure espiritualmente. Let's let the church mature spiritually. Okay? Y los que son inmaduros se van a ver. And we'll see the immature. But we have to deal with the immature, and you'll see. You'll see pastors fall on this. Y tú vas a ver pastores que caigan con esto. Porque muchos pastores hay que tienen que confesar because a lot of pastors there are that have to confess. They're the first ones. It's time for the church to get cleaned up. Es tiempo que la iglesia se limpie. Ay, santo. Y que haya sobre la tierra una iglesia poderosa. Amén. Gloria a Dios en Dios. And it's time for there to be on the earth a powerful church in God. And it can only be that if we do what the Word of God says fully. Cuando hagamos lo que la Biblia nos instruye completamente, que incluye la confesión, una a otro sus ofensas, confessing to one another our offenses. And again, just for the sake of having the Bible as our guide, let us look that one up, right? Our offenses. Hopefully that'll be here in the King James search. And it doesn't come up on the, I'll try offense and see if anything comes up. No. We'll try confess. We have 44 confessing. Okay, and the first one pops up. So that's good. So let's look at that. So let's take a look at this. The first one here that pops up is James 5:16. Lo primero que sale es Santiago 5:16. And it says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Así que confesar sus ofensas uno a otro y orar uno por el otro para que puedan ser sanados. Right? La oración ferviente efectiva de un hombre justo puede mucho. Okay, so that's my loose translation in Spanish. So this is what the churches should be doing. Doesn't say to confess to the priest, but it does say to confess to one another. All right, and so that is really something that the churches should be doing. Again, it's something that the church, I'm not talking about individuals here. Yo no estoy hablando al individuo. El individuo tiene que estar consciente de eso. But it's true that you as an individual, you may be doing and wanting to do the right thing, but you have to be ready. I'm going to tell you because like I said, if the pastor is not educated in this sense, he should be the first one that should be saying, like I'm doing, brothers, we need to confess one another our faults because we're not going to progress unless we get ourselves together. And we as a church help each other. O sea, el pastor tiene que ser el primero que diga, hermanos, no vamos a progresar individualmente ni como iglesia si no podemos confesar unos a los otros nuestras ofensas y permitir que la iglesia se madure espiritualmente, que se responsabilice por cada uno de nosotros en oración ferviente. Oh, brother, you have a church, churches out there could be praying fervently. Oh, because there's confession. Porque hay confesión. Right now, brother, help the sister. They said, you don't know who to pray for in the church because you don't hear. You say, oh, they're going through a trial. But, there's prayers that need to be had that are never being had simply because there's no confession. And if there's a confession, then somebody, even the children can pray for so and so. He's having this issue, Lord. And guess what they'll do? Even the children will do this. They'll pray for themselves. Lord, have mercy on me. I don't want to do that. So help me not to do that and help brother or sister so and so with that problem. They have a serious problem. Even a child will do that and help me so I don't have to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. Help me, Father. Hey, we're missing a big component in the maturation of our brethren in church, Pastor, estamos careciendo de una parte integral de la madurez de los feligreses de nuestras iglesias. Si no incorporamos la confesión a los hermanos, entre los hermanos. if we don't foster this atmosphere of confession amongst the brethren, then we're not doing it. I think it's something that should be started. If you haven't started, then we get up. We have people come up to sing. We have people come up to share a testimony and this and that. I think the church got to get braver now and quit with the little childish stuff and get into some real life issues here and start having and inviting a person or two, one person open for a confession. If any brethren would like to, according to James, confess your faults one to another, so that the church can pray one for another, that ye may be healed. This is the time for that. Does anybody want to come up and express a confession to the congregation, and let the church do what the church is supposed to do, and give us that grace, that opportunity to show God's grace, love, and favor, and that's it. And just let it happen, brothers. And the church needs to move on. You guys are stuck. La iglesia está, como dice, está estoqueado en cover up. Too much cover up in the churches. Hay mucha cobertura en la iglesia, mucha protección, mucha hipocresía. There's too much hypocrisies in the church. Santo, santo, santo. Holy, holy, holy. Too much cover up in your church, pastor. Mucha cobertura en tu iglesia, pastor. Oh, santo. Tienen que moverse. So, dar a los hijos de Dios la oportunidad de confesión. Enseña la confesión. All right? Tener una oportunidad de confesión. Aún, it's going to have to be done. It's going to had to be done. If you want to start it in a vigil where people are more spiritual than in the open church session, you understand? But you got to think about it. Even if there's people, let's say you did it on a Sunday, and you have people from the community, sinners there, and someone gets up for the confession, and you got people who are in Catholic church. They say, "Well, someone's going to confess in the front." Listen, and they see the church respond with love and acceptance and prayer. Even the Catholic person sitting there visiting, who was a Catholic or is a Catholic, or anyone else of the world, an atheist, they see that and they say, "Oh my, this is something unique. This is something special. This is," and even if they're a psychologist, psychotherapist, they say, "Oh, this is a good thing. This is good and it's healthy, it's mental." I mean, you're not letting God get the credit even for suggesting a perfect mental health cure here, a perfect mental health solution. God doesn't get the glory for this, even though He put it in His Word. Because you guys are too infantile to allow God to be God. Let the church be the church. We're filling the church too much with hypocrites. Let us have a church of real Christian people, real children of God. Let the hypocrites fade away. Okay, they need to be reached. They need to be taught the truth. So let us make it clear. Let us make this issue clear. Vamos a hacer este punto bien claro. ¿Entiendes? Bueno, en un ateo, un católico, es católico, lo que sea, ve la respuesta de un Dios, perdón, la reacción de un pueblo de Dios cuando alguien viene y confiesa. Y aunque sea, deja que Dios tenga el crédito, la gloria de sugerir algo que es en la profesión de psicología y de psicoterapia, es una solución muy magnífica, que es la confesión. Eso es algo muy importante. Deja que Dios tenga el crédito. Venga, aquí está. Esto no es psicología moderno. You know, you go to school, you pay a lot of money before you start learning about the value of confession in psychotherapy. And here it is in James 5:16. It's been there for thousands of years. Estado allí por miles de años, lo que están enseñando ahora en la universidad. So vamos a dar gloria a Dios. Vamos a dejar que Dios se glorifique. Let's have God glorify himself. Y si lo inmaduro en la iglesia no pueden soportarlo, que se vayan. You know, you have some immature people in church that can't handle it. Let them go. We'll reach them. You'll reach them again when they're willing to accept the truth and stop being a hypocrite. Then they're ready. Cuando dejan, ustedes lo van a alcanzar otra vez. Después, cuando ya están listos de despojarse de la hipocresía y aprender y agarrarse de la verdad de Dios. Eso es sencillo. Pero tener una iglesia llena de hipócritas, but to have a church full of hypocrites, that's not an option. If you're a true man of God, that is not an option for you. Si eres un verdadero hombre de Dios, varón de Dios, pastor, eso no puede ser una opción para vos. Lo que está echando a perder toda la mesa. Because what you're doing is allowing the whole thing to get lost, your whole church. Well, you're not doing them any favors. So if you lose a quantity, because we're not talking about losing a few. In a lot of churches out there, you're going to be losing a good amount. But the ones that stay will be true servants of God. Usted hace así, muchos se van, y no son pocos que se van a ir. Muchos se van a ir, pero los que van a quedarse son verdaderos hijos de Dios. Y eso es una iglesia poderosa. And that remnant there, that's a powerful church. That will be a church that will be very hard to stop and very powerful in the Lord. You just got to keep going. Keep moving. And you see that you'll reach those again when they mature. Because they're too immature, and a lot of that has to do with the church they got into wasn't fostering that growth. So now it's time to grow. It's time to move on. It's going to get uncomfortable here. But it has to be done, folks. Because the world is getting lost and lost. The effectiveness of the church is watered down because of all the hypocrisy. Aquí vemos que la efectividad de la iglesia se está aguándose por esa hipocresía que es común y está siendo normalizado en la mayoría de iglesias. So it's a hypocrisy that's being normed. Hello, college people. Normed within the church culture. It's hypocrisy, and it has to be done away with. Santo es el Señor. Okay? So this will finish up with this issue about the thief. Here, 1 through 4. So that'll be where we're finishing off. So let's get back into that. And we'll finish this in a moment. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. And again, eso quiere decir, déjame leerlo en español. And we're just going to the Spanish also to see. And verse 22, I'm sorry, that's the Spanish we're going to. Si el ladrón fuere hallado forzando una casa y fuere herido y muriere, el que lo hirió no será culpado de su muerte. So basically, if the thief is found breaking into a home, so this is a thief, he's found breaking into a home and he is struck, because there's another question that a lot of people have, and that is it okay for you to use force against someone else? When is it okay for someone to use force against another? ¿Cuándo está bien que uno usa fuerza contra otra persona? And here we see clearly that, of course, if someone's coming into your home, you can use force. Even the law, as far as that I gather, you can use force to protect your family, yourself, if someone comes into your house. Si alguien viene adentro de su casa, de lo que yo entiendo de la ley civil, es que usted puede defender su casa, su vida y la vida de su familia contra una persona que no pertenece ahí. Él rompió la puerta, ya está la puerta rota, la ventana rota, y se metió. Tú tienes toda libertad de defender su familia, su vida, etc. All right? Because that's the thing you got to worry about is your life. Because even though the thief didn't come in there to take your life, which you don't know that, we don't know. But if he's just a thief, what is he planning to do if somebody was in the house? I mean, we don't know. What would they do? See? So if he's there and you catch him there, and he didn't run, because he can always run from you, right? And run out of there, then you won't be able to do anything. But if you are able to do something, that means he stayed. That means even when he saw that you were there, he stayed because he was planning to do what if he was found. See, that is the issue. Así que si tú encuentras un ladrón en tu casa, tú no sabes lo que está en la mente de ese ladrón. Pero unas cosas que sabemos es que si tú encuentras un ladrón en la casa y él te ve, él tiene que huir si es que él no quiere hacer daño a ti. Pero si él se pone ahí, él está pensando hacerte daño. So eso es finished. So you don't have to worry about what's in his mind. You know what's in his mind because he ain't moving. He's not running out of the house. He's standing. Oh, so he's going to do something to you. So you see, so that in that sense, you have all the right to defend your family in whatever way. And what does that mean? Whatever you can possibly do. If you have it in you to do something, it's always going to be something that you're going to have to do. It's as simple as that. Esto es muy sencillo. Él se está parado y quiere hacer daño a la familia. That's all we can gather. We cannot think of, oh, he's just here to smell the roses. No. No podemos pensar que está ahí para oler los flores. Quizás va a deflorar. Maybe he's there to deflower, not to smell the flowers, right? You got to protect your family. Tú tienes que defender su familia. See? So even as Christians, when Jesus said to, somebody strikes you on one cheek, give him the other cheek. This guy's coming to attack your family. This is a completely different scenario. Okay, this is a totally different scenario here. This is not an issue of offending someone, of insulting someone. No. This has to do with life and death. This has to do with things that shouldn't be. Kidnapping, but is an offense already that is payable by death because it is causing a death. Taking somebody by force is already causing a death. See? So even then, you want to look at it. Even a rape is a kidnapping. Si tú quieres verlo así, aún rapear se dice en español, coger una mujer o un varón, bueno, estos días no se sabe qué cosa es, y cogerlo fuera de su control para abusarlo, también eso es muerte, eso es causando la muerte, simbólicamente. So what is the reaction to that? So, ¿qué va a ser la reacción a alguien causando muerte? So even the death, the possibility of killing the offender, somebody doing these things, is allowed. Of course, it is allowed to defend your family with lethal force. Está permitido defender su familia con poder de muerte. causar la muerte de esta persona que está donde no está supuesto estar. To cause his death because he's where he's not supposed to be. And anything that he could possibly do to anyone now is an issue of kidnapping and of murder, right? According to this, the statutes and precepts of God. De acuerdo a los estatutos, los preceptos de Dios, esa persona que no huye va a ser algo que va a causar simbólicamente la muerte o la muerte física, y la respuesta de esa persona, el castigo merecido, es la muerte. So aquí tú tienes el derecho de, you see that space there, tú tienes el derecho de matar a esta persona. Tú ves el espacio que hay allí, lo que estaba diciendo antes del espacio que Dios pone, porque la realidad es que lo que se está haciendo es más grave de lo que se está viendo. So the issue here is that what's being done is more grave than what is seen. See? Because what this person is doing is more, it's already the sin that he's committing is already grave to death. So that the response that's being had is within that construct. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. And with this, I'll be ending. You have to understand. That's why they say, well, why does God allow so much death and so much sickness and all that? So much war. And what people are not understanding is that God already said, the day you eat of this tree, you shall surely die. See that? Everything else doesn't matter. What you're concerned of has no weight or bearing. It has nothing to do with God. God already said, the day you eat of this tree, you shall surely die. That was the end. Everything else that came down the pipe is, there's nothing to say against God. You're lucky you are breathing. Simple. You have nothing to say. ¿Sí? Nosotros no tenemos nada que decir. Dios dijo, el día que comience de ese árbol, de cierto moriréis. ¿Qué ahora se está quejando? ¿Y por qué Dios deja tantos morir? Tanto en el holocausto, tanto en la guerra, tantas personas con enfermedad, tanta en hambre y tantas personas de enfermedad. ¿Por qué Dios permite? No. Tú no tienes nada, mira, nada que decir. Porque el día que comience de ese árbol, de cierto moriré. El día. Eso ya pasó, mijo. Ya estamos aquí, mira. Por la gracia de Dios. So, no empezamos a decir, ¿por qué Dios permite? No. Dios no tenía que permitirlo. Porque de cierto moriré, ya no hubiera pasado nada, ¿cierto? No estuviera vivo. Punto. No tuviera con qué quejarse ni por qué. La gente se están quejando por el espacio que Dios permite para enseñarnos su bondad, su misericordia. Pero no te quejes otra cosa. No te quejes por los resultados suyos de la situación donde estés. Entonces, we are complaining in a space of grace, because we couldn't have anything to complain about if we were dead. I mean, God said, the day you eat of this tree, you shall surely die. So that was it. So what are you saying? That's what you prefer, that God did not give you a chance to live, to know, to open your eyes and to breathe in this world and to have a chance to learn about what happened in the Garden of Eden and what God is doing to make it right, and you actually going to stand there and complain to God for what Adam, your forefather, did, and these things are only happening only because God allowed us to live on. That's the only reason. So you're complaining, God, why did you allow me to live? That's what you're saying. Why did you allow me to live, God? Why do you allow me to live? That is your real true complaint. ¿Por qué me dejaste vivir, Dios? Eso es la queja que tiene en realidad. ¿Por qué nos dejó vivir? No es de hambre, no es de guerra, no es de pestilencia, no es de matanza y de robo, de todas estas maldades que hacen los hombres. Es ¿por qué me dejaste vivir? Eso es la queja que tiene. So this is the soup that we're in, and this is the soup in which God is teaching us through his law and through the analysis that he's given us as well, that we have to figure things out. We have to realize, wait a minute, all of this is because of the situation that was caused in the Garden of Eden. This is what created this whole mess of stuff. Lo que pasó en el jardín de Edén, después que analizamos lo que Dios dice en su juicio, en su decreto, entonces entendemos que todo esto vino del jardín de Edén, el fallo de Adán. Y nosotros estamos viviendo en un espacio en donde el carácter de Dios, la justicia de Dios, pues está en contrariedad con la situación de muerte, de maldad en que nosotros nacimos y que vivimos. So we start realizing when we study and analyze his judgment is that it's the dichotomy between God's character, his good character, and the perverse nature of existence in which we are born and raised and reason within. Because our reasoning is perverse. We don't see the just God who has allowed us to continue on, and in order for him to save us through educating us and through introducing in our hearts and mind his truth and his salvation, we don't see that. What we see is this is all bad, this is all evil. Yeah, really? Congratulations. But realize this is all that you did. This is your nature without God. And yet the ones who are complaining use that as a justification for there not being a God. There's no God because of our dirty underwear. No hay Dios, dicen esta gente, por su propia perversidad. Es como decir un niño, decir, no hay Dios porque mis calzoncillos están sucios. Estos calzoncillos son sucios. Mira, eso es la prueba que no hay Dios. Eso es lo que dicen ellos. It's just stupid. Okay, brothers, I'll leave you with that. It's a lot to think about, and we'll continue on next time. Dios le bendiga. God keep you. God bless each and every one of you. Dios le bendiga a todos. And we'll catch you guys next week on this same channel. God bless you as always. We remind you to send your donations for this ministry, help other people receive this teaching throughout the world. Deja que otros reciban esta enseñanza a través del mundo. Estamos en canales de Roku, de Fire TV. We'll be looking into Apple TV in a short while now. Estamos también viendo extendernos en el Apple TV. Y todo esto just means one thing. It means it's going to cost us more money every time. And for more and more people to see us, it's costing us more and more money. A ver qué lo que sucede, lo que significa que más y más personas lo están viendo y quieren aprender, y entonces va a costarnos más dinero. So, cualquier cosa que puede enviarnos, por favor, haz lo posible a través de la dirección que ve en la línea. Cualquier cosa, $1, anything, just send it, and God will again will be helping us to continue this messaging for as long as the Lord wills it. Así que Dios le bendiga, Dios le guarda until next time. Thank you for your cooperation and for your assistance and your prayers. God bless you.